I'm talking about in this really quick video is the qualifications, age, and citizenship for representatives, senators, and the President of the United States being on the federal lands in the military. And so when you're a citizen of the United States, you're a citizen of the military, you're a member of the military, you're in service to the United States of America, but you're within the United States. So this is from an old book that has the old laws from the Confederation, um, the the United States of America, to the federal people, the United States under the Constitution. This was in 1813. A lot of people say the Confederation document was repealed or replaced. It was not. There is no repealing clause. If you can find one, I'd love to see it. So here we start out with Washington City, 15 January 1813. It has been deemed necessary to divide the United States, the military lands or the military areas, and the territories thereof into recruiting districts. Now they have age requirements. To join the military, you only have to be 14. Between the ages of 14 and 21, um, you have to have something from your parents that says you're allowed to enlist. At the age of 21, you can enlist of your own accord. So between the ages of 14 and 18 years of age, may be enlisted for musicians. So that would start your citizenship of the United States at the age of 14. But yet you couldn't be a representative until the age of um, 25. So you have to have 25 years as just a person and 14 years a citizen of the United States. I'd like to point out that in the Article 3 justices, there is no citizenship requirement. So there are citizens and there are people who are not citizens. There are two different people. There are citizens of the United States, and then there are people who are not citizens of the United States. So there are people in the military and there are people not in the military. The representatives and senators and president has to have some military experience. The justices do not. Okay, the justices only have to have good behavior. They can come from off the federal lands. And as a matter of fact, it would be preferred that they do come off the federal lands because they're there as a protection to keep the United States, to keep the military from getting too large, because those are the sovereign people of the United States of America. They're supposed to make sure that when the laws that are written by the United States of America under the Articles of Confederation are given to the United States, that that the justices are a stopping department for the military not to expand themselves too much. It all makes a lot of sense once you really put some more thought into it rather than just what they tell you to think in schools. So the representatives here who are 25, they have to be 25 and they have to be 7 years a citizen of the United States. So from 14 to 18 for recruits for being musicians, it's the flute players and the drummers back in those days, plus 7 years as a member of the military service, but at least 25 at 18 plus 7 years is 25. A representative could have enlisted at 18 to be qualified for his 7 years citizenship of the United States, and by then be 25 to become qualified as a representative. Now, seniors or senators, another word for senator is senior, they're supposed to be 30 years old and have 9 years citizenship. So senators at the age of 21, because they're older, they're seniors, they're senior officers, they're probably commissioned officers at the age of 21, plus 9 years of service to the military in the United States, taking an oath and becoming a citizen of the United States. A person qualifies as senator because they'll be 30 years old. So no person except a natural born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of the Constitution, because no one qualified, because the Articles of Confederation were written, I think, about 6 years prior to the Constitution. So you take 6 years plus Washington's 2 terms, and then you would have a 14-year qualification for people. So once Washington did his 8 years plus the 6 years added from the Articles of Confederation to the time of the Constitution, you have a citizen of the United States who would have 14 years. So there's a part of the Articles of Confederation where they state what powers the United States has. And so the United States is created in the Articles of Confederation. So you can't detach these two documents. A lot of people will tell you that the Articles of Confederation were repealed or replaced by the Constitution. I find no actual proof or evidence of that ever having occurred. So the president must be 25, that is at least 21 when enlisted as an officer, and have 14 years military service to qualify for the position of commander-in-chief, which is president. President has two offices, executive of the United States of America and commander-in-chief of the United States. So you have representatives and senators, Congress, who are strictly citizens of the United States. You have a president who acts as a president for the United States of America and a president of the United States military. So you have the Congress, which is strictly military people, a president who is both military and acting as non-military, and then you have a justice that is completely not military. No citizenship requirements, must have good behavior. So 14 years military service to qualify for the position of commander-in-chief. He can be born on federal lands or he can be born naturalized, which Washington had to be naturalized because there was no 14 years yet to take an oath. An oath is to the loyalty of the land, and the land is the United States of America. So the math adds up once you think about it, and you think about the qualifications, the age qualifications, the citizenship qualifications, and the fact that a citizen must go onto the federal lands. Here it says resident within the United States, so resident on the federal lands. So residents are people who usually have a temporary status at a place, sort of like a resident doctor. He's temporary. He's not the doctor 24/7 forever. He's the doctor 24/7 for a period of time, and then he goes home and another person takes his place, which is kind of what happens on the military lands, but it takes up place over a number of years. So you have an officer who can go onto the military lands at, let's say, 21, and then he can retire. And once he retires, he has to move off the federal lands. He can't stay there. So once you think about the intricacies and the details and the outcome, you find that the math adds up. Okay, so there you have it. More information on how the United States is a military. Citizenship of the United States is a person who has been a citizen of the military or a member, because citizen means member, so a member of the United States military. The United States works for the United States of America, and in the book that I showed you before, the United States of America does enact the laws, write the laws for the United States.